Okay, so today we're going to go over your control placements. So, to get into control placements, basically you're going to go over, let's see, I think it's going to go over here. So we're going to go click on this one. It's going to be in your settings. So these are the different tabs across the top, dealing with the different types of things that you can do with the game controls itself. The one we want is this controls right here, and then we're going to click on over here to customize. The way I would say to do it is to this one's going to be one of your primary buttons, and this one's going to be one of your primary, these two right here, primary controls. Everything else, is kind of secondary, so let's make sure that we get those two right and these two, and this one is right as well. What I would recommend is that you take your left thumb and your right thumb and then just kind of get a feel for where they fall naturally on the gaming pad itself. Because if you're going to hold it, if you're just holding it in general how you like to hold it, like what I do is I'm usually have like a small pillow or something like in my lap, and I've got an iPad, and so I just usually have my thumbs at the the lower part of the screen and so forth. But you can move any of these things that you want to as far as the controls are concerned. So it's just up to you to what you want to do. But any of these things that you want to, you can move. I like to keep these two, and then the other thing I would recommend is that you have an enlargement tool right here, or slider, so you can enlarge and shrink these up as much as you want to. I use this one. I use this one pretty good. So I'd use large and on this one somewhere maybe halvesies or something like that, and it'll give you the sensitivity that you want as far as crawling to going drastically fast, your fastest speeds and so forth. And then if your thumb falls kind of here naturally, I would put those between the top and the bottom, somewhere there. I think that's the easiest way to do it. But that's about right as far as the size is concerned. Adjust these. This is going to be your consumables tab, so I like to keep those pretty good. I don't ever really use a difference as far as the shot selection is concerned, so I don't see a real need to adjust those by any term. And then this one's okay. This is with your this is the controller to use. I can't remember the proper name for it, but basically you can view. It's your viewing controller. You can either activate this or not. It just kind of depends on how you want to do it during gameplay. But I have mine active, and then that way I can stay targeted towards one object, and I can look around and see what my teammates are doing, or see what other people are around me that might be able to hit me. But I can stay targeted in one spot and then look around me with that one at the same time. So I like to have that one operational. Or active rather, I guess. But the red stuff, I don't think you can change, so I wouldn't really worry about that. And then the markers, I would probably have the ones that it automatically defaults to as active. I don't see any really need to do the other one. And the mini map, I see it as active. You can do these any way you want to do them, but those are the ones that I normally do. So the other thing I wanted to explain is just your consumables and also the equipment. Depending on what tank you have is kind of what I would kind of go off of what kind of consumables and what kind of equipment that you want to have. So down here, this is your consumables and this is your equipment. The consumables, if we go into it, they're a little cheaper. So they're like, I like to have my consumables and I'll pop them a bunch of times. Some of the things that I would recommend is going to be your adrenaline, which gives you shot speed, which you can start. It's 30% chance, so it's like a rapid fire shot. I would go ahead and do either this, which is your what do they call this one? That's the repair kit, or you can do the multi-purpose kit, which does fire, repairs, and everything. It's a little bit more expensive, but since this is just a lower tier tank, I'm just going to do the repair kit. I don't really see the need of the other one. It's basically to fix your track, so that when you get busted in your track, and if you don't have to worry about getting out of the cover, taking multiple shots at one time, then I wouldn't worry about hitting it. But if you think you're going to take multiple shots during that damage part, I would go ahead and pop it and get back behind cover before you get destroyed, basically. And then this is your speed, so it's 30% power for 30 seconds. Sometimes I'll pop that one if I'm in a lighter tank, trying to get around a heavier tank, and trying to get behind them or something like that, or go around them. Or if I'm trying to get out to a position early in the battle or at some point during the battle, I might pop that one. I like to use the speed as well. The equipment, like I said, depending on what kind of tank you have, it's kind of set up for this thing. Actually, on this T-29, I don't think I'll probably. This is one of my earlier tanks, so I don't think I'd probably keep these if I was going to play it a lot. But I'd always recommend your tank rammer, your gun rammer. So if you couple that with your consumable, which is going to be your adrenaline, it's like a rapid fire thing that you have. So this one saves 10% on the loading time, and I think that would be something I would recommend for every tank. If you're going to do one, I would do that. Now the thing about it is, if you're selling stuff, like it says, when you sell these, you can see it costs 250,000 credits, but the refund if you sell your tank is half. So on the bigger tanks that you want to keep, I would do the equipment, but if you're not going to keep it, if you're just going to fly up to another tier, don't worry about it. Just, because you're saving the credits for the higher tier tanks, and then they get more expensive as you get along. So don't worry about the equipment so much in the lower tier tanks. But if you want to do consumables, I'm all for it. I think they're a lot of fun. So I would pop those instead of the equipment. For the heavier tanks, some of the consumables, this one adds 10% to aiming speed, so it's kind of a quicker aim as far as that's concerned. And the crew skills, a lot of people do this. It kind of depends on your own personal preference, but you can see that they're different tiers. So these are all the expensive ones right here. So those are the most important ones generally. So if you are going to buy them, I would definitely do one of these. These other ones, if you're a tank, destroyer, I could see doing like one of these two right here. One is for camouflage, so it's going to reduce your visibility to other tanks, and then the other one's going to be your binoculars, so you can see other tanks. So if you're a tank destroyer, I would recommend something like that. I think those work well. So that's a basic rundown. Again, you can check me out. My name is Caswela, so feel free to hit me up as far as platooning is concerned. My clan is Allied Forces. I just joined that, so we'll see how that goes. And I hope you enjoyed this, and just hit me up with any feedback you have. Talk to you later.